Hello everybody, welcome to That's Football. I'm Mark Goldbridge and this is your Tuesday night watch along for Premier League football. We've got some Premier League football for you tonight. We've got 4 games going on. Featured game Crystal Palace against Aston Villa, but Fulham play Wolves. Bournemouth play Brighton, which I think could arguably might be a game I switch to. I mean, I think that game could be the best game of the night, but we're going with Crystal Palace and we're going with Villa. I don't know whether Rashford's actually starting. Where's Rashford? You prats. Anyway, Chelsea against Southampton 2. Lots to get involved with. That sounded like Chelsea'd scored. They haven't scored. But yeah, let's get these teams up on screen for you. We're sponsored by Manual tonight. I'll talk about that, what that's all about. But yes, the Premier League at the weekend was so crazy, wasn't it? Wolves beating Bournemouth. Bournemouth play Brighton tonight. Crystal Palace beating Fulham. Fulham play Wolves tonight. Villa beating Chelsea. They play Crystal Palace tonight. So we've got the 2 winners from the weekend playing each other. But yeah, no Marcus Rashford for Aston Villa. It's Ramsey, McGinn, Rodgers and Watkins. All of the new signings are on the bench. Rashford, Malen and Asensio. I don't know where Asensio is. Oh, he's on the bench as well. So he's on the bench. Garcia does start and Disasi starts. They came in January. But yeah, Rashford on the bench tonight. Maybe that's all about managing minutes. I don't know. But yeah, interesting with that. So yeah, that's our update on that. Rashford on the bench. Villa need to win. Villa need to win. I think that is absolutely nailed on. Aston Villa have got to win this game tonight. They want to close in on the top 4 and get themselves back amongst it. And look, they've got so many attacking options. Can they start regularly scoring goals? Because that's been their problem all season long. Let me just get rid of... I actually wanted the title race here. There we go. Yeah, let's have a look at the table. So, as you can see, Aston Villa are on the attack at the moment with Digne. Edge of the box with McGinn. It's been a good start from Villa. Palace have got a very good defence, though. As you can see there, Villa win tonight, take them up to 5th place. So, no, if they win tonight, they'll be up to 4th place. They'll have played two games more than others, but still a positive for them. We'll keep you updated with what's going on Brighton, Bournemouth, and Wolves Fulham. They've kicked off at 7:30 as well. Chelsea and Southampton don't actually kick off till 8:15. So half time when Chelsea kick off Southampton. Even Chelsea, I mean, 3 points easily for Chelsea, I would say tonight. We got a goal? No, we haven't got a goal. I thought we had a goal there. Sorry, apologies. It was a speck on my screen. Apologies for that. Can only see a Villa win here, says Eva. Manual Bridge, says Daniel for short. Yeah, I'll speak to you about Manual in a minute. And apparently there might be a Fulham goal. There is a Fulham goal. Let me go to Fulham and I will have a look at it for you because we have got all games tonight on TNT. So it's just very easy just to skip our way down. Crystal Palace. Wolves Fulham. I mean, Wolves will want to win tonight, won't they? There we go. Oh, Marco Silva's going like this. That's my first view. Marco Silva's going like that. And I thought I was watching bloody Bournemouth for a minute because it's black and white, black and red shirt for them. But there may be an offside in this. It gets slipped through. And Wolves are asking for lots of empty seats at Wolves. But it looks like it's a goal. And looks like it's been given. It was tight, but I think the goal has been given. And it is 1-0 to Fulham. Just broke the offside trap in the first 3 minutes. Sessegnon. 1-0. Goal given. There we go. Early goal. First one of the evening. Daniel Svensson says, I actually think Villa can be in a title race next season. Those players are top level they're having now. What do you think? Says Daniel. I mean, I like Villa. And I think it'd be good for them to have that level of consistency. I think this season it's been about balancing the Premier League and the Champions League, of course, and I don't think that's necessarily easy to do, is it? But I think getting back in the Champions League helps Villa because they still struggle financially to be compliant, a bit like Newcastle, really. Sponsored by Manual tonight. What's that all about? Right, get ready for this. Be honest, how often do you just shrug off feeling tired, unfocused, or like we're just not quite ourselves? Low energy, poor sleep, struggling to stay motivated? It's easy to blame it on a busy life, but actually these can be signs of low testosterone. And with 90% of men with low testosterone remain undiagnosed, you could be one of those. Testosterone doesn't just give us muscles, make you angry and have a beard. It's vital for energy levels, weight management, and your overall mood and cognitive function. Crazy thing is, nobody knows anything about it, and only 10% of men with low testosterone ever get an actual diagnosis. So here's how to check your levels. Give the Manual at Home testosterone blood test a go. It's super simple. It's just a finger prick test you do at home. So I've actually got mine to do tomorrow. No hassle. And that's it. You send this off, and in just a few days, I'll get my testosterone levels checked by Manual's expert doctors. If something's off, they'll give me a personalised plan, whether it's lifestyle advice, supplements, or even their testosterone replacement treatment service to restore testosterone to healthy levels. So if you've been feeling a bit off lately, don't just shrug it off. It might be low testosterone. Head to the link below and use my code. That's 45. This makes sense. That's 45 for 45% off your at-home testosterone blood test. With 1 in 4 men over 30 facing low testosterone, this test could be the best thing you do for your health. And at half time, I'm actually going to get the finger prick test out, and I'll show you about that. I never thought I'd say testosterone as much as I did in the last minute there. But as I say, you can get 45% off with the code That's 45. Check it out through the link in the description or scan the QR code. Thank you very much to Manual for that. Interesting, isn't it? I mean, I'd never really given it much thought. So I'm very interested to see, because I do get quite tired, and I often put it down to diet or, you know, that's basically what I put it down to. But there we go. 45% is nearly 50% off, says Jack. It is. You're right. This Wolves-Fulham game looks really good. I'm going back to Crystal Palace, though. I think all these games are going to do really well tonight. Thanks everyone who's tuning in. How much can you bench, Bridge, says Paris. It's not something that actually motivates me. I'd rather have a game of darts or pool or a pint down the pub. So it's not really my bag, to be honest. Yeah. But well done if it is yours. I don't judge a man by how much he can bench. I judge him by how much he's got in the bank. No, I definitely don't. I'd probably judge a man by how much he can bench more than what he's got in the bank, to be honest. No, I probably judge a man, and this is not in a sexual way at all. We're talking about, you know, how you judge another man. I would say, if I'm at a party and I get introduced to another man, not in that way, I would say, so, see the match? And if they go, what match? I start to get a bit worried. And then I go, well, Chelsea-Southampton last night. Oh, I didn't know they were playing. Yeah, good game. What's going on with Maresca? You've saved me, thanks. Can I buy you a drink? If they go, Chelsea-Southampton. Oh, was that football? No, I'm not interested in football. I go, right, red flag. Get out of this situation. He doesn't like football. You'll never get on. Rashford's on the bench. Mallon's on the bench. Asensio is on the bench. And you're miles offside there, Ezzy. Thanks everyone who's tuning in, by the way. Interesting video we put up today about Carragher and the AFCON. I actually just think that Carragher is not the best at communicating, which is why he keeps getting himself into bother about, you know, Haaland being scared of Rudiger and then apparently disrespecting the AFCON. But actually, I think fundamentally what he did was right. I think what he was basically saying is that Mo Salah does probably not get as much of a glow up for the Ballon d'Or because he plays for Egypt, and Egypt are never going to win the World Cup, and the AFCON doesn't get the same credit as the Euros or the Copa America for whatever reason. So I actually think he was right there. I don't think he was actually disrespecting the AFCON. I think he was actually correct. However, where I do disagree is there wasn't an AFCON in January. If there had been and Egypt had won it, I know it was Rio Ferdinand who said that the Ballon d'Or committee wouldn't take into account if he'd won it. I think that's a load of bollocks. I think if he'd won the AFCON, that would go in his favour. Carragher and Rio at it. He called Rio a clown on Instagram, says Parker. I know, we did a video on it today. I find all that weird, though. I mean, it's almost like they're trying to cultivate some sort of rivalry, but they work for different companies, so I don't really get what it's all about. It's like a couple of clowns in a circus throwing custard pies, isn't it? Which one do you want to get hit? Ultimately, both. Hello, Mark. Love the videos, even though I'm a Liverpool fan. That's absolutely fine because this is That's Football, Sonny. So we do talk about Liverpool and stuff. In fact, we were just doing it then. I hope Man United improve, but that would be a lie. No, hate, by the way. That's fine. What is happening at Man United is terrible, says Sir J.K. Worthing. But it is nice to see supporters of all clubs support Man United fans. It will be better for the league for Man United to get back to their best. Much love. Well, look, I got sent a load of stuff by a Liverpool fan last night, listing all the things Liverpool fans did to get rid of Gillett and Hicks. I don't know whether we'll do it at Man United, but it's encouraging that people, are interested and want to help. Our biggest problem is that our fan base is splintered and has been for as long as I remember. So we never seem to be able to do anything collectively. We've got a penalty for Brighton, apparently. I'm going to go there now. Here we go. Brighton are about to take it. Pedro. This could be a goal for Brighton. I didn't see the penalty, but some people are saying it's not. And he scored it. There we go. Well, was it contentious? I didn't get to see it. So I'll be lying if I said it's never a bloody penalty. 2 goals already in the Premier League 7:30 games, though. That's what we want to see. We want to be moving around here. It reminds me of a bit of a 3 p.m. sort of stream, actually. Where we've got loads of Premier League games going off at the same time. Good penalty by Pedro. Sends the keeper, or as I call him, Kepa, the wrong way. And it's 1-0 to Brighton. Of course, they're playing catch-up as well. So they're a little bit like Aston Villa tonight, whereby if Brighton can win, it puts them, they're on the charge, really, for top 4. So keep an eye on that one. But they are 1-0 up. I can't get a replay. They haven't shown a replay on the penalty, but I'm just going to stay with it for a minute in the hope that I can see it. Unless anyone's got a link or a tweet that's got it on, that would be nice to see. Here we go. Push in the back. Apparently it's a push in the back. I can't see. All I can see is an image of it. Right, let's go back to Crystal Palace and Villa. Salah or Ronaldo based on the Premier League? Okay. I'll do it. I'll do Premier League. Ronaldo or Salah. I'm not going to say anything. It's a super chat from LFC. I'm not going to say anything. Not going to swing this one way or the other. Lewis Jackson, I hope you're doing well. Tell Bell says, anyone else can't stand Lucy Ward? I don't know who it is. So, have you read Ten Hag's interview? Says Binny. No. Is there anything in there that's actually anywhere near contentious? Because he is under an NDA. Let's have a look at that league table now that Brighton goal will have registered. Here we go. Brighton would be up to 8th place with 43 points. And they would only be, they'd be level with Bournemouth. I mean, that'd be a massive win for Brighton if they can hold on or double it, because that's good for Brighton. Obviously, very good indeed. So 1-0 to Brighton, home to Bournemouth, and 1-0 to Fulham away to Wolves. Still 0-0 between Crystal Palace and Aston Villa. I'm actually going to have a bit of a stand-up here. I feel like I've been sat down all day. I just want to have a bit of a stretch. Every woman, every man, join the caravan of love. Stand up, stand up, stand up, I'm your brother. Take me out tonight. Oh, there is a light and it never goes out. There is a light and it never goes out. I'll stop all that now. Have you ever been dogging? Funnily enough, no. Do you think... Have you ever seen that car share thing where she says she's been dogging and actually she's just took a dog for a walk? Very funny. Hopefully I'll be doing a bit of singing at my show in Dublin. And, well, not long to go now. I think it's... must be like 3... Is it 3 weeks tomorrow? Must be 3 weeks tomorrow, yeah. Dublin, tomorrow, 3 weeks tomorrow. If you want to get tickets, by the way, the link's in the video description. Looking forward to that. I nominate Sada. So, Aston Villa... 0-0 here at the moment. Crystal Palace with a chance to whip one to the back post. Good header on the back post into a dangerous area. Palace still have it. And there's an offside anyway. Don't you just hate it when someone's offside? Bloody hate it. But going back to, we were talking about testosterone and manual, which you can get a 45% discount from. Check it out. I'm very interested about this. But we were also talking about men in general. Don't worry, not in that way. But I'm, actually, I say don't worry. Some of you may well like that sort of thing, statistically speaking. 2 in 10 of you will. And I'm all for it, diversity. But is that under the strands of... Oh, I used to do this at work. I mean, God knows now. There used to be the 7 strands of diversity. I think there's probably about 50 now. You've got to respect people who identify as a Jedi or something stupid. I'm glad I don't work in HR. Must be a living hell. But anyway, that's just my opinion, not shared by everybody else. I think when you meet a man, and I don't like saying that, but that's what we're talking about here. When you meet a man in a friendly relation, in a social experiment or whatever, or maybe it's just whatever, right? And they don't like football. That's a big switch off for me. I mean, every man's a switch off for me because I'm straight. But what I mean is, we're never going to be friends, really, if you don't like football. Is that a barrier to you? Can you be friends with... I had this chat again at Christmas. Can a woman and a man really be friends? I completely disagree. I've had this chat on here before. I absolutely don't agree that a woman and a man can be friends. I think you can. Like, I don't mean like, you go out for a meal with your mate and his missus. You can get on with girls, but I don't think you can be like WhatsApping individually. How are you getting on? This, that, and the other. I don't agree with that. I don't think that can happen. One of you is always going to be thinking about something else. I don't agree with it. But Some people find that controversial. I'm entitled to my opinion. But what is a more definitive one is that I find it hard to be I don't think I could ever have a best mate that didn't like football. I really don't. We've got a goal for Wolves on that bombshell. I don't think. I'm just trying to think about have I actually got a best mate who doesn't like football now, because they might be watching. Well, they wouldn't be watching, would they? Because they don't like football. So I'm safe. Piss off, John. Lovely goal, Wolves. Cross came in, fell to Gomez, and he smacked it in. Just pure power, really. He's animated, isn't he, that Wolves coach? He's enjoying himself. 1-1, Wolves and Fulham. Sir J.K. Worthing, thank you. Welcome to the Members Club. Liam Vernon says, goal! Oh, Liam. Tillemans should have scored. Sorry, Liam, that wasn't what Liam said. Cross came in for Villa from Garcia. And Tillemans, about 6 yards out, rises like a cat on a trampoline and heads it wide. Could have been 1-0, went wide, still 0-0. Liam Vernon says, it's my birthday tomorrow and I hope United win. Surely we'll win tomorrow, Liam. Surely we can beat Ipswich. Ronaldo's got 55% of the vote and Salah's got 45% of the vote. Based on Premier League. I mean, look, actually, longevity of Salah, I suppose I understand that, yeah. So 1-1 Wolves and Fulham, 1-0 Brighton and Bournemouth, and still 0-0 here. Have you ever played rugby, says Daniel? My school was a bit of a rugby school. Bingham 2-Till. I don't know whether they've got any in there here. But still haven't had a call about a statue. But yeah, it was a bit of a rugby school. I mean, it wasn't a rugby school, but they did play rugby there. It's probably a bit 50-50 with football. So I did play a little bit of rugby because we had to. PE used to annoy me. Between October and January was rugby, and then January to May was football, and then May to summer term was athletics because we had an athletics pitch. And I used to say, can we just bloody play football? When there's grass on the pitch, let's play football. And no, that's not how it used to work. So you had to play rugby. But I purposely used to make sure I was not in the top set for rugby because I like to play with all the crap people and then I could just run through it and be really good. But if I played in the top set, they're all massive and they'd tread on your hands and stuff like that. And my hands are quite delicate. I like playing the guitar and stuff. And I'd be like, what are you standing on my hand for, you big oaf? And then they go, who are you? What are you saying that to? I'd say, just be careful next time. I don't like rugby. It's too physical. I remember going in this scrum and I was on the second row and the guy behind me was massive and taller than me. And their arm used to go up between your legs. This is no lie, to hold onto your shirt in the scrum. I'd be on bloody tiptoes. It's the most, you're being forced from behind on tiptoes and you've got your head up someone else's arse and you'd be like this. Is it over yet? I bloody hated it. The only thing I liked about rugby was getting the ball on the wing and you'd be quicker than most people because they're all big and heavy, fat, and you just run away from them and that'd be great. But I didn't like all the tackling and stuff. Yeah, it's not for me. Can Luke go back on the United stand for the derby? It says 10 men. Luke? Thought of the day. Who picks up guide dog's poo? It says SK. That's a great one, actually. They've probably got a permit. They're probably allowed to do it. What's your favourite comedy movie? Says Jacob. Oh, I do like There's Something About Mary. Are you doing a watch along for the charity match, says Arta? No. No. It's a great cause, and I hope lots of people are going to watch it and raise money to it, but no. Having been involved in it, I'm not going to sit and do a bloody watch along for it. I mean, look, no, I'm not. 100% agree that a guy and a girl can't just be friends. A lot of guys will play the long game, seeing guys wait 5 years for some box. What? Louis? 5 years? I will wait 5 minutes. Well, who's the next Premier League Ballon d'Or winner, says Dante. Who's the club? Who's the Salah? I would say. Jasui says, comment on the club's comment on the United stand. Goal for Villa, but it's offside. I'll come back to that in a minute. It was Aaron Ramsey, not Aaron Ramsey, Jacob Ramsey, and he's offside in the build-up. Let's have a look. Yeah, clearly offside. There's no debate on that. It's not a goal. Can Luke go back on the United stand? Don't know what that's all about. Je suis says, comment on the club's comment on the United stand. What, Man United's? What have Man United said about the United stand? I'm not aware. Comment on the club's comment on the United stand. I don't know. I don't know whether they've said anything. So I can't comment. Manchester United interested in Eze deal, already agreed, spin me right round, they cooking, says that monoxide poison. Are we in for Eze as well, are we now? Ah, okay. Louis says, 100% agree that a guy... Done that one, yeah. Lovely stuff. Come on. It's all set up for Rashford, though. I can't remember what Rashford's like against Crystal Palace at Selhurst Park, actually. Villa definitely looking more dangerous in this game so far. Heard United reappointing Ron Atkinson to Super Donut. And Daniel Svensson says, it's just 1 point difference from 4th to 10th. Wow. I know. Look at it. Loving it. There are some games in hand there, though. Luke's the MCFC lad, guys. He was on last year, says 10 man. Okay, I don't sort any of that out anyway. I'm way too lazy to sort any of that out now. I've done my... Anyway, corner to Crystal Palace. Volume's a little bit low. I mean, it could be. I mean, I don't know. I will check. Headed away. No, it's perfect. And it is a goal for Crystal Palace. It is. I almost predicted it. Oh, Villa. Villa, Villa, Villa. It's Sarr. Tadar, it's Sarr. And it's 1-0 to Crystal Palace here. Villa do not like that. Ends up being a tap-in. And they're happy at Selhurst Park. If you've never been to Selhurst Park, it's not how you'd imagine. I just never imagined Selhurst Park to be like it actually is. It's right it's just sort of in a residential area, really. But anyway, oh, well, is there an offside there? LaCroix heads it, I think. Good save by Martinez, and it just drops to Sarr for a tap-in. There's a lot of Crystal Palace players offside, but I don't know whether LaCroix is. I don't think he is. Hold on for this. What was for dinner, Mark? An absolute banger. They are checking it on VAR. That's not the right angle, you bloody idiots. I think he might be off. I think he's going to be off. It's close though, but I think he is going to be off. I don't know. They're looking at the second one now. I think they might have got away with it. It's a close one. See, I think these ones are the ones that you shouldn't be getting offside for. I know technically it is, but do we really want them to be offside? No, they've given it. They've given it. I thought it was going to be off. I did. Well, I'll look forward to the lines on that. James Guy says, if guys can't be friends with girls, does that mean... Oh, I don't know. I don't want to say that word because it sounds like it's one that'd get me cancelled. Basically, I think what James is saying, if guys can't be friends with girls, does that mean a gay woman and a gay woman couldn't be friends with each other? No, I haven't tested that theory at all. And also, I'm not saying that guys can't be friends with girls. I'm just saying in my experience, look, the way I look at it is if Mrs. Goldbridge said, me and John are getting on really well and we're just going to meet up for a few drinks as friends, I'd say you're not. And then realise I can't obviously stop it from happening, but I'd say he wants to get in. You know what? And she'd probably say that's disgusting. I'd say, well, if I know John like I think I do, he definitely does. But also, it doesn't matter whether his name's John, Jim, or Jason. They all will be interested in one thing. And it's not how your day went. And she'd probably say, oh, that's very stereotypical. I say, well, I'd rather be stereotypical and safe than, you know, open-minded and divorced. And, you know, each to your own. But I'm allowed an opinion, and that's it. I am yet to meet a man and a woman who are just great friends and have separate relationships, but WhatsApp each other all the time as friends. You and Sir Jim, both lifelong fans, lots in common, says Super Donut. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, hilarious. I have a revolutionary protest idea for United. Can you help me make it happen? Non-violent and should be super effective. Worldwide coverage for sure, says Lenny. Well, tell us then. Tell us, Lenny. Would you take Muniz at United instead of Dalot? He's a great wing-back. His age is probably the only thing against him. Well, I think Dalot is a problem at the moment. I'm very intrigued by this super chat from earlier that came in from Jesui. What are your thoughts on the club's comments about the United stand? Does anybody know what Man United have said about the United stand? Because that's surely I would have been told by somebody about that. So if anybody knows what that's all about, let me know. Who would win in a fight, Donald Duck or Daffy Duck? You see, this is what I love about this community. You get a really good football debate, and then you get a really good either-or like that. Look, Daffy Duck against Donald Duck. I'd like Daffy Duck to win, because he's just funnier, but he is quite trim, whereas Donald Duck, he's built. Like, he is just like a circle. He is big. So I think Donald Duck probably wins that. It's the podcast. The Clue podcast. Oh, the Club podcast. I have heard of it. I mean, fair play. Not many have. So what have they said? Because I don't know. How would I know what they've said? I mean, let's not forget one of the people on that has been bitter about us for about a decade. The other two constantly ask me to go on and do content with them. So, look, small content creators like that still think it's 2017 and saying things on videos is the way forward, and yet been in the company of all three of them, and they never said they wouldn't say boo to Donald Duck, let alone a goose. Let me tell you that. Mark, at what point does Liverpool become bigger than United with them looking like they'll match our 20? Well, I think where Liverpool are at the moment, they're probably going to move past Manchester United quite quickly, aren't they? What's your prediction for league winner, top four, and Champions League winner for next season, says Cameron Heaton. What's your prediction for league winner, top four, and Champions League winner next season? Oh, mate, I tell you what, how am I going to bloody know that? I tell you what, I'm actually quite comfortable in the fact that I don't know, Cameron. I genuinely think that if Liverpool lose Salah, Van Dijk, and Trent, or two of them, that weakens them. Man City, we don't even know what's happening with Pep and the court case, so that could weaken them. And then Arsenal, we don't know whether they'll ever buy a bloody striker, so that could weaken them. So maybe Chelsea will win the league next year. What are your thoughts on Martinez? Is he just a big game keeper? I'm a Villa fan and I love him, but I've never seen so many mistakes this season, says Jack. I like Martinez, but you might have hit the nail on the head there that he has gotten a mistake in him. Will Hughes has got a 2-match ban. Must have had a lot of yellow cards. You spent more days in first place than Arsenal, says Toro. And 5th of March, second year anniversary. How will you celebrate, says Jurgen. What, your second year anniversary or mine? Rick says, can you say a swear word, please, mate? I'm sure there will be one at some point. 10 yellow cards equals a 2-match ban, says Samuel. Still 1-1 between Wolves and Fulham, and still 1-0 to Brighton against Bournemouth. We'll obviously bring you goals as that happens. Chelsea kick off in about 10 minutes. Very equal game between Brighton and Bournemouth, by the way. Both had about 6 shots and 2 shots on target each. Not surprisingly. I think that would be a big win if they can get it. Chelsea's lineup is Ramsdale, Bree. No, that's Southampton. Jorgensen still in goal. Gusto, Tosin, Colwill. Goal! Oh, he's missed it. Sarr. Oh, Sarr. Cross came in from Eze. Good save by Martinez, and then he put the follow-up over the bar. Did Sarr. Crystal Palace breaking away really well here. Eze lays it into Sarr. First shot's good. Good save. Ah, he's got to score, mate. Hits the first shot well. Great save by Martinez. And then the follow-up. He's got to score that. He's put it over the bar. Villa got to be careful here. Anyway, Chelsea. Jorgensen, Gusto, Tosin, Colwell, Cucurella, Enzo, Casido, Palmer, Neto, Sancho, and Kunku. They should be bagging a few tonight. They really should. Charlie Hopkins says, why do you want Rashford to do well when he won't for us? Price. Price, really. Ahmad says, spoon or a fork for dessert? Depends what it is, mate. I mean, if it's custard and crumble, I want a spoon. But if it's a brownie with a bit of ice cream, I might go for a fork, actually. You know? Freedom Fighter starting for Chelsea, says Joshua. Mark, I'm in a girl. Oh, here we go. I knew this. This happened last time. People take offence to opinion. Mahmood says, still feels premature to say Liverpool won the league because we've seen what happened in 2021. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. Sonic Lucy says, Mark, I'm a girl. Well done. And I have a best friend who's a guy. He's got a missus after we were already friends, so it can happen. Love the channel and all you do. So you're a girl He's a boy. He's got a missus, and we were already friends, so it can happen. Fine. Look. Another chance for Crystal Palace and Mateta. Wow, will Crystal Palace regret these chances later on? Mateta receives a cross from Sarr, and he doesn't quite connect. Again, that could have been 2-0. Sonic Lucy, I'm still trying to figure this one out. So you're a girl, your friend's a boy, and he's got a missus. And he never tried it on? You've never thought, what it'd be like? I'll tell you, I'd love to do a lie test on you both. Get you both in. We'll do it live on a show. We'll get you both in on a lie detector, and I'll say to you, have you ever thought sexually about doing it with him? And then we'll do it to him for you. And if you both are telling the truth, I'll stand corrected and say, it can happen. Well done, Lucy and Steve. But I'm not so sure. Who was your role model growing up, says Garfield? What? Celebrity role model? Rick Astley? No. Football-wise, I did like Roy Keane. I did like David Beckham. And celebrity-wise, Pet Shop Boys, Erasure. No, I'm trying to think. I don't know. I don't think I'm great with role models, actually. That's a lovely ball into Watkins. This has got to be 1-1, not from there. He cuts it back. Great goal by Villa. Great goal by Villa. It's Morgan Rogers. I nearly said Captain Morgan, but that would be a lie. He doesn't have the armband. It's Morgan Rogers, and it's lovely play by Aston Villa to make it 1-1. I said Crystal Palace would be kicking themselves. They had chances, 2 chances to make it 2-0. They didn't do it. And at the other end, look at this for a ball. Whoever plays this pass here, the first pass, it's actually Morgan Rogers who plays the pass. What a ball into Watkins. Watkins can't quite shoot, so he cuts it back, and then Morgan, it's great. It's a great goal. Rogers plays in Watkins. Watkins can't quite shoot, so he cuts it back, and Morgan Rogers is there to tap it in. Lovely goal from Aston Villa, 1-1. So 1-0 Brighton, 1-1 Villa and Crystal Palace, and 1-1 Fulham and Chelsea. And Yusuf says, Cunha has been killing it. I would love to have him. And Omar says, all my friends call me crazy for saying Liverpool will easily win against PSG. What's your take on the game? No, I think you will, Omar. I think you will. And what are they checking this for offside for? Absolute joke. No chance that's fit. That's not offside. Oh, still checking it. This ain't off. Garfield says family. Oh, role model in my family was definitely... Oh, he's off! He's off! I can't speak. Well, Michael says he looks off. He is off. I can't speak. That's harsh on Villa, that is. Didn't look off. I don't think that's off. I think that's incredibly tight. And this is what I mean about not having automated offside, because I had been told 18 months ago that the way they do offsides is not accurate. They can't be accurate because they haven't got the camera. So what they're basically doing is they're taking objects on a TV screen and trying to map lines. It's not accurate. And I just think that is tight. I can't believe we've been doing offside like this for this long. You know what? I said this the other day, didn't I? What was that goal? Was it the Mamouche goal or something like that, where it was like, he's off? You watch enough football, you sort of know what's on and off. And you will get tight ones like that where you might be wrong, but it didn't feel like it was off to me, that. Mark, add Barcelona versus Atletico to the watch-along, says Jack. Add that, Jack. No. My role model is Ryan Giggs and Jennifer Lopez, says Umzi. Thank you very much for that. And Kush says, where would you place I'm on my knees, brother, among your most memorable reactions to Man United conceding a goal? I don't remember saying that, Kush, to be honest. Will Ricky from United Stand ever do the podcast? Says Connor. What podcast? Don't have a United Stand podcast. Tom and Jerry versus Scooby-Doo, winner. Scooby-Doo would tear them apart. He's a Great Dane. That's a cat and a mouse. Human chain around Old Trafford on a big match to block entrances. I did the maths. It takes 800 to 1,500 people, and I'm sure we can generate way more. Super meaningful, says Lenny. And begging for Wi-Fi says, do you think Man United are becoming the next Leeds United? No, because Leeds United got relegated. Manchester United won't get relegated. Scooby-Doo is a coward, though, says RSL. Scrappy was tougher. It's all going off. Brighton looking good, says Daniel. We're approaching half-time here. It is still 1-0 to Crystal Palace. I think it should have been 2-0, but then again, I think it should have been 1-1. It looked like a goal to me for Villa. Not been given. Four minutes added on here. We've had 3.5. I do quite like a 7:30 kickoff, I've got to be honest. When I was a kid, we used to get quite a lot of, in the late 80s, early 90s, you never used to get an 8 o'clock. It was always 7:45, sometimes 7:30. But I do quite like a 7:30 because you still get a bit of an evening after the game. Don't know what your thoughts are on that, but that's just mine. Shrek versus Sully from Monsters, Inc. Winner, says SK. Half time here. I'm going to go straight to Chelsea because they've kicked off. So we've got another match on. Do you like the idea for protest, Mark? Let's do it, says Lenny. I don't know where you're going to get 1,500 people to do it. And my concern is if you got the wrong 1,500 people to do a chain around Old Trafford and people like the Red Army weren't on board, those people who are stood near the turnstiles for that will just get pushed aside and they'll walk in. So you'd have to have everybody on board, which would mean people wouldn't be going in the ground anyway. But I mean, it's creative. I'll give you that. They should have some sort of cameras or sensors around the pitch to check for offside, says Master Splinter. Yeah, a little bit like automated offside, which they were meant to be getting about 6 months ago. Yeah, you're absolutely correct. Transkea says, Arsenal lose to Forest. Are they then in a top 4 battle? Well, I can show you the league table as it stands because it is half-time in 3 of those games. Villa need to win. We've spoken about that. They can't be 2 games behind the likes of Newcastle and Man City and then 2 points behind them either. They've got to turn this loss against Crystal Palace at half-time into a win. I thought they were a bit unlucky with the Ollie Watkins goal, Morgan Rogers goal. But for Brighton, it's looking very good. They've actually got a game in hand on Villa, and they've got 43 points, and they'd have played the same amount of games as Bournemouth, and they'd basically be level with them. So Brighton having a late push for sure. Southampton on the attack here. Really good pace. Tossin's trying to stay with him. And I think that was actually a foul. And he gives a goal kick. It's when Chelsea equalised against United, says Kush. Bella Kotchop for Southampton is back. I thought he was on loan, Robert McCormack. I thought they'd actually sold him when they got relegated. And I think there he is. Not sure about the hairstyle, but each to their own. Looks like he's got 2 ponytails. Pigtails, they used to call them, innit? At school. I don't know why they called it that. A pig's only got 1 tail, so why I don't know why they called it that. A poll, your first kiss or your first drink, says Rick. I'm not doing a poll on that. Will you be alive to see England win the World Cup or the next Euros, says Flash? I actually don't care. That's not actually something that bothers me. If I die without seeing England win a major tournament, I've got to be honest, I couldn't give a shit. When I was a kid, I would have cared, but I really don't care now. I'd like to see Man United win the Premier League or the Champions League again, but I'm not that bothered about England. Either or, Rodgers or Garnacho. Well, Ronaldo's beat Salah. Nearly 10,000 votes. Let's do that. Here we go. Either or. Garnacho or Brendan Rodgers. Morgan Rogers. You've spelt it like Brendan Rodgers, that's why. He's got no D in it. Unai Emery or Eddie Howe. Both took mid-table clubs to the Champions League. I like these. We're getting some good either-ors. We'll come back to that one, Cinema Drunk. Thank you very much for that. Who would you go for out of Salah or Ronaldo, Mark? Premier League. Yeah, look, I think Ronaldo... You'd give it to Salah on longevity, of course, but I think what Ronaldo did in his final 2 seasons in the Premier League was just incredible. And look, I'm not saying it's not close, but I would go Ronaldo. But obviously, I'd also admit there's red-tinted glasses there as well. Yeah, definitely. Right, let me just, if you didn't hear me talk about it in the first half, we are sponsored by Manual on the show today. Key points are, it's if you're feeling tired or unfocused or low on energy, it could be low testosterone. 1 in 4 men over 30 have it, and 90% don't even know. Testosterone's role is it's more than muscle. It affects energy, mood, weight, and brain function. And only 10% of men with low testosterone get diagnosed. The manual at-home testosterone test is quick and easy. It's a simple finger prick, send it off, and expert doctors check your levels. If something's off, manual provides personalized plans, lifestyle tips, supplements, or TRT. Don't ignore the signs. Check your testosterone today. Use the code that's45 by scanning the QR code or going through the link in the description. You get 45% off. That's why it's that's45. Thanks to Manual for sponsoring the stream. Now, I'm going to be doing mine, and I'll tell you what my results are, even though it's medical. Well, maybe I won't, but I am going to do it. So this is the little finger prick thing that you get. And then you've got the little capsule to put the blood in. And then you get your little bags here that you drop it in, and then you send it off. And then, obviously, once Manual have got it, they'll let you know what the story is. And as I said, I've got to be honest, it's a bit of an eye-opener for me as well, because I don't know anything about testosterone. I thought it was something you used to talk about with your mates, about I've got high testosterone. But it can affect your energy, your mood, your weight, and your brain function. So I'll be very interested, because I sometimes do get tired, and I just think, oh, it's because I had a Mars bar or something. And then I realise I haven't had a Mars bar for about 5 years. So it could be testosterone. So check it out. Links in the description, or scan the QR code. That's 45 for a 45% discount. Mark, says Wilson Pereira, I love you. No matter you take 45 seconds typing some things, go silent, do nothing, and talk about random things. This love's unbreakable. Glinios out. Wishing you and all your loved ones the best, says Wilson. Thank you very much for the support, Wilson. Appreciate that. Treble Champ says, please help me. The protests want to hit the Glazers in the pocket, but the reason why we have redundancies is because we're broke. Won't hitting him in the pocket lead to more cuts? No, I actually think hitting them in the pockets will make them panic more, and actually will end up benefiting us, because they will probably start buying players or doing something like that, because they know that that's the way to calm any United fan. So, whereas if nothing happens, they'll just do what they're doing. Rodgers is beating Garnacho by 57% at the moment. I like Rodgers. I like the way he plays football, but I'll be absolutely honest with you. If it was a choice between having a 22-year-old Morgan Rodgers or a 20-year-old Garnacho, I think I'd take a punt on Garnacho, to be honest. I can see Chelsea and Newcastle not getting top 4 with City and Forest dropping out. Oh no, I can see Chelsea and Newcastle getting top 4 with City and Forest dropping out. Can see us beating City tomorrow as well, says the Spurs way. I hope you do beat City tomorrow. I don't think for 1 minute that Man City will not get top 4, by the way, but I don't think Forest are going to get it. Yeah. Thanks to the Spurs way for your super chat. Enzo Fernandez, Cucurella, good tackle. I mean, this is a question of how many goals Southampton will concede, but after 10 minutes, they haven't conceded any here yet. Half times, 1-0 to Brighton against Bournemouth, 1-0 to Crystal Palace against Aston Villa, and 1-1 to Wolves against Fulham. But 0-0 here between Chelsea and Southampton. I like it when there's a lot of games going on at the same time, because there's no dead time. Like, we can watch Chelsea for 15 minutes and then go back to the other game. Perk says, have you heard the rumour that Sir Jim wants the United squad to take the megabus to the Sociedad away game since it's only €3 per person? Well, I mean, this is the thing about what United are doing to cut costs. They're only cutting costs for the low-paid workers. It's the opposite of Robin Hood, really. It's Robin Bastard. Basically, Robin Hood used to steal from the rich to feed the poor. His mentality was, you're rich, you've got loads of things, the poor people don't have anything, so I'm going to steal from you to feed the poor. What Sir Jim is doing is taking from the poor to feed the rich. So the canteen has been closed down at Carrington, except for the players. They still get all the food. You could cut costs by making players fly economy. We'll be still getting a private jet. So we're not making any cuts to the players. You know, Casemiro will still be sat on his arse tweeting for 350 grand a week. Luke Shaw will still be lying on his bed injured for 200 grand a week. Same with Mason Mount. So, I mean, that makes it even worse for me, that we're making all these cuts, but not to the players. Football's all wrong. I mean, Jamie, what it essentially is, and I don't know because I'm not from the United States, but it's maybe my life's never been about this, and the people I know has never been about this, but Man United seem to be about you know, discriminating the low-paid workers to look after the high-paid workers. As Shahin says, sell one player and you'd save 10 times more. Who do I think is going to get top 4? I mean, I'm not going to look at this. I'll say it and then I'll show it you. I think Arsenal, Liverpool, Man City, Chelsea, and Newcastle will be top 5. And Liverpool, Arsenal, Forest, Man City, Chelsea is how it is at the moment. I mean, look, I'd love to see a Brighton or a Bournemouth or a Forest get in there. And I'd like to see Villa get back in there as well. But I just think Newcastle, Chelsea will get in there with City, Arsenal and Liverpool. That would be that'd be a big positive for Newcastle, of course. I tell you what, Southampton have actually done all right here. A couple of half chances. Chelsea looking a bit sluggish. No, I didn't do them in order. I know I said Arsenal, Liverpool. I didn't do it in order. I just said who do I think will get top 5. I gave you the 5 clubs. I wasn't doing it in order. I mean, obviously Liverpool are going to win the league. I mean, you can't say I'm putting Arsenal top. I've not put Arsenal top since bloody... Well, I don't think I've ever put them top. Look at that though. I mean, what? Third to 10th is separated by 7 points, and 4th to 9th is separated by 2 points. We're loving it, loving it, loving it. In the last 10 years, I've spent 105k on United merchandise, regretting. Please, one line on how Sean Dyche would react if he was the Aston Villa manager. Keep your throat in check though, no push. Thanks for creating United stances, Wilson. I'm not going to do it, Wilson, because I actually have got the start of what I think is a sore throat, and I definitely don't want Sean Dyche to make it any worse. Which, ironically, in real life, he probably would, because he'd probably strangle me for the years of impressions. But it is. I am feeling a little bit sore tonight in the throat area. Right, we're not up and running for any other game at the moment, so we'll stick with Chelsea against Southampton. Southampton have done all right here so far. I don't know what, I thought Chelsea looked all right against Villa, but then again, I remember Southampton coming to Old Trafford a few weeks ago and they gave us a bloody game. A weird club. I think I'm gonna sit down in a minute. Re the Oasis reunion tour, says Pat Kelly. I'm going to give it to Rodgers, by the way, 55% to Garnacho, 45%, because I want to do the next either or. I'm going to start firing some good either ors in a minute. But before we do that, let me do, what was it? Emery or either or. Where is it? Oh, come on. It's going to crash. I'll wait. Pat Kelly says, oh, it's gone. Just when I started reading it. Come on, let me back. Right, let me read this super chat and I'll do that either or then. Read the Oasis reunion tour, says Pat Kelly. What song are you most looking forward to being in the set list? I'm hoping they play Eyeball. I've never heard of that one, Pat Kelly. I listen up, but I don't know whether Liam's voice would be able to do it anymore the way he used to do it. So our next either or is Emery or How. There you go. Oh, Bella Ketchup's gone down here. He is hurt. I'll tell you what, Neto does sort of jump into it a little bit. I mean, those tackles never look good. But I don't think he actually caught him. But I don't know why. I don't know why players do that. I've seen Agate do it, Martinez do it, Neto do it. It should be a tackle that's outlawed, but he didn't even get a yellow card. Zuta says either or, Mark Goldbridge or Robbie Lyle. Well, I don't think that's fair to do on many levels. Martinez off for Villa. And a goal for Fulham. Goal for Fulham. Let's go. 2-1 at half-time. And Fulham have done it again. Adama Traore into Muniz. Dinks it over Sarr. Was it Sarr in goal? But lovely finish. Lovely finish. And Wolves caught out napping at the start of the half again. Lovely ball by Adama Traore. Muniz in, dinks it over the keeper. 2-1 Fulham. Martinez sent off. No, he can't have been sent off. Celtic are playing Aberdeen tonight. Scooby-Doo. Yeah, he's not been sent off. He's been subbed off. I don't actually know why he's been subbed off. It's a B-side from the Naughty, says Pat Kelly. I've never heard of it. Oh, I've got to sit down. My hip's gone. Getting old, mate. I tell you what, the last thing you want are hip problems. And I've got a hip problem. Oh, I have got a hip problem. I'm very hip. Oh, God, that feels better. Yeah, he was subbed off. What's your thoughts on the Mourinho drama, says Stewart? Having not heard the context and only read what he said, what did he say about the Galatasaray bench, that they were jumping around like a bunch of monkeys? I don't think Jose Mourinho would ever be a manager that I would refer to or consider racist. So I'd like to give him the benefit of the doubt and say, I don't think it had racial connotations, but in the world that we live in, that is a word that I wouldn't use that word anymore. I mean, there's another one, isn't there? If you pay peanuts, you get, and again, it's the same animal. That just I wouldn't use it because I just think people do associate it with racism. So I can see why people are saying stuff about it, but I don't think Mourinho meant it in that way. But that's the world we live in now, isn't it? And I think that's a fair assessment, isn't it? Mark, have you tried the new Fox's half-dipped biscuits? It's a hobnob, but chocolate chip, like a cookie. Eclipses hobnob as the ultimate dunker. I'm going to Google it. Fox's half dipped cookies. I'm looking at an image. Why are they half dipped? Half coated. I can only find half coated. I mean, these are things I shouldn't be eating anymore. Cole Palmer's just had a big miss in a 1v1. He's not playing well at the moment. Nathan Stanley says, boycotts won't work. Since moving to Manchester, I've seen how blind the global fans are to what's actually going on. New kits will still sell, says Nathan. That's why I think a chain around the megastore, not letting them in, would work if it was like hardcore United fans. And they basically said, you're not going in because this is damaging our football club. We have got a goal for Chelsea, by the way. Don't know why people didn't tell me about that. And Nkunku blows up a balloon. It's his thing. Fancy that. Fancy having to remember the balloon. Oh, there's no offside on that one. I missed it. Oh, well. Nkunku, 1-0. What's going on at Villa and Palace? Free kick to Villa. No, free kick to Palace. Why did they take the goalkeeper off then? Is he injured? He must be injured. You wouldn't take Martinez off for that half, would you? I didn't really think it was that. Penelope says, I wish Ipswich versus United was on tonight. Oh, I know. I'm really disappointed. I'd love to have watched Newcastle Liverpool. I'd love to have watched Arsenal Forest, and I'd love to have watched Spurs Man City. I'm really pissed off that our game is on tomorrow, because it's a shit game really. And those games are better, but obviously as a United fan, I'm not gonna not watch it. So I'll probably have two on at the same time, but it's not the same, is it? I'm just getting the timer here. Forgot. Looking forward to next week though. Champions League football. Bit random. Remember Cleverley goal versus Newcastle, says Arturo. No. Driving with Goldbridge's armour. Oh, the same things happened as always. I intended to do it every week, and then I get other stuff going on, and I do need to do one. I need to get back into it. Rodgers, goal. 1-1 Villa. He's got his goal. He deserved it. And look, they've got the players on the bench they can bring on. Leon Bailey's actually already on. They've made a couple of subs here. Why are you telling me? Why are you bloody telling me they've made 2 subs? Don't know why he's not bringing Rashford on though. He brought Bailey on for Garcia. A little bit more attacking. But it's basically a long ball from the goalkeeper. Well, Ollie Watkins is going to be offside in the build-up. I think he might be offside in the build-up. I think Ollie Watkins might be offside here in the build-up. You know where watch when Olsen kicks it. It's close. I think he's not offside actually. I don't know. Oh no, he obviously wasn't because it's 1-1. It just looked like when Olsen kicks it, obviously it goes a long way. It looked like he might have been offside coming from an offside position. But no, he wasn't. It's fine. That would have been very unlucky. Any consideration about covering Barca Atletico, says DJ. What are they even playing in? I don't even... I mean, when have I... I mean, Copa del Rey. When have I ever covered this? Semi-final, leg 1 of 2. And Sociedad play Madrid tomorrow night. No, I've got absolutely no... Look, respect if you have, but come on. Marty says, sore throat, you're ill quite often. Please take vitamins. I'm not ill. I've not been ill for quite a while. I think it's just from doing a lot of talking. I was supposed to be at the Ipswich game in hospitality, but returned to New Zealand last month to start uni, so I'm going to be there in spirit, says Kanye. Thank you very much for your super chat, pal. Rashford's warming up. Villa need to turn this into a win. (1-0) Brighton, 1-1 Crystal Palace Villa, 1-2 Wolves against Fulham. Fulham got 2. Chelsea 1-0 up against Southampton. I mean, I think Chelsea-Southampton is the most boring game of the weekend, of the midweek games. They're definitely going to win, but here's Eze. Mateta will be offside there. Yeah. Will you be doing Tuesday and Wednesday next week, says Channel of Chucky? I will tell you now. I think I am. But let me have a look at what the plan is for the weekend. I'm not doing any FA Cup games. I'll tell you now, I'm not doing any FA Cup games. They're all just a waste of time. Crystal Palace, Millwall, no. Preston, Burnley, no. Bournemouth, Wolves, no. Man City, Plymouth, no. Newcastle, Brighton, maybe. But then it's right before Man United. So probably no. I'll do Man United, Fulham. But next Tuesday night, we've got Arsenal, PSV, and Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid. So that'll be a double watch along. And next Wednesday night, it's PSG, Liverpool, which we will be doing as well. So looking forward to those. Oh, Shabba. Can't be offside from a goal kick, says Reese. Yes. Why the bloody hell did I not think that? That's sort of one of those rules I can understand why I didn't think it. Alan, well done. Not Alan, Reese, well done. That is a rule I just completely dropped off. A Goldbridge, that's rugby, Six Nations watch along, says Alan. If you said like 100,000 people would watch it, I would, but let's be honest, be lucky to get 100. Not that it's about the numbers, but thanks everyone who's tuning in, by the way. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Bottom right-hand corner. You're very welcome on That's Football, whoever you support. We're closing in on 307,000, by the way. You're only a 200 away. Thank everybody for tuning in as ever. Daily content on the channel, of course. I love this community. I really like that, because Man United are so traumatically shit. I'll do the 10 o'clock show and then I get excited because I think, oh, it's time to do a little 10-minute video on That's Football. And I just go and have a look and have a chat about general football stuff. Goldbridge, Love Island, watch along, says Tom. Arne Slot or Amarim poll. Emery has battered Eddie Howe, by the way. We're not doing Arne Slot versus Amarim just for your fetish or whatever it is, Kings. I mean, come on. But Emery's battered Eddie Howe. I mean, I don't know. Why is Emery getting 79% and Eddie Howe's only getting 21%? I mean, when you think about it, Newcastle are actually above Aston Villa, and Newcastle have played in the Champions League with Eddie Howe as well. Should be a bit closer, I think. Here's Eze. Ooh, shot goes out for a corner. Who would I take? Emery. But I just think it should be a bit closer. That's all. But then again, why would it be close if most of us went, Eddie Howe's done a good job, but Emery's better? It wouldn't, would it? So, makes sense. Danny Boy says, do you think and agree with me that Emery looks like Richard E. Grant? No. I can see it a little bit, but not, I wouldn't say massive. Favourite K-pop group, says Son. I don't know what it is. I've got a niece who mentioned it at Christmas. She really likes it, but I don't know what it is. Carve says the Chelsea goalkeeper just made an amazing save. This Crystal Palace Villa game could go one of two ways. Next goal key. Still 1-0 Brighton. Still 2-1 Fulham against Wolves. I think Liverpool will beat PSG quite comfortably, Jay Cliff. Somebody mentioned it before, and I do genuinely think that PSG are not at that level where they can deal with a team like a Liverpool or a Real Madrid over two legs. Oh, what a goal by Mateta. 2 fouls by Palace on Palace in the build-up, but Mateta missed a good chance in the first half, but that's an absolute banger. Bloody hell, Villa. Tough place to go. I always say this on the podcast. Selhurst Park is a tough place to go. And that's a cracking goal. I tell you what, Palace were looking at a couple of fouls in the build-up here. But Mateta didn't think anything of it, and bang. I do feel like is it Disasi? Should probably get a better block in. Nah, he's probably stretching a little bit, to be fair. Yeah, he can't get the block in, can he, to be fair? It's just good play by Mateta. And I'll tell you what, he's a good player, Mateta. He's got a good finish on him. Good result for Palace at the moment. Goldbridge IPL watch along would get you 1 million views, says Mitesh. Elimination Chamber watch along on Saturday, says 8. What time is it though? Because we will be watching that, but I don't think I'm going to stay up until the early hours for it. The Palace player is still injured in the build-up. I don't know who got the assist on that one, because the ball went to Eze, but he got knocked on the ground. I don't think he actually played anything. He's second on the list of top Premier League goal scorers now, with 36. Well, it's never going to be Nketiah, is it? I mean, that to me, obviously not a Palace fan, but that Nketiah signing for £30 million. I mean, Arsenal, you might have had a bad season, but at least you got £30 million for a £15 million player. Uh, 1-1 Bournemouth. It is, you know. It is. It is. 2-0 to Chelsea as well. Cliver. Oh, what a goal as well. Edge of the box. Keeper's at full dive. Bournemouth back in it. Be a great game for one of these teams to win. Obviously, but my point is, like, when you look at Bournemouth and Brighton, one of them winning it really does help them out. Chelsea are 2-0 up. I don't know who scored the second goal. Neto. I mean, they are. I mean, if you're watching that game, you must be a Chelsea fan, because there's nothing about it that's interesting. They'll win comfortably. Hi, Mark. What's your opinion on Clivert Jr.? Good player, Murray. I don't know. I feel like he's a bit older. I'm going to check his age out, actually. Check his passport, because I feel like he's 21. But then, I remember him when he was at Roma. So, he could be like 26. 25. He'll be 26 in May. So, yeah, he's been around for a few years. It's not as... I feel like if he was 21... you'd be going, oh my God, go and buy him. But 26 in the summer. So, hey, you know, look at Anthony Robinson at Fulham. Late bloomer. How did you meet Mrs. Goldbridge? Met her at work. Thank God we didn't work for Man United, because one of us probably would have been redundant. Oh, he's gone down! He's gone down! Referee says, no. He says, wait a minute, I'm looking at VAR. Rodgers in the box. I don't know. I don't know. It's sort of like his foot's there. Nah, I don't think it can be a penalty. It's one of those, isn't it? He swings to kick and he catches the Crystal Palace player. No, not given. No, he definitely gets tripped because he goes to kick the ball, but he kicks through on the Palace player, so it would have been soft and it's not been given anyway. It's one of those, though. If he'd given it, I don't think they would have overruled it. Oh, Villa could have done with that. When's bloody Rashford coming on? Surely that's the move. So now 1-1 Brighton Bournemouth, 2-1 Palace Villa, 1-2 Wolves and Fulham. Or 2-1 to Fulham playing away. Are you doing a live watch along for WrestleMania, says Keith? I thought they split that across 2 nights. Asensio's not on either. He's onside, Ezzy. Just needs to wait. Just got the cross wrong. Could have. They were all queuing up there. RB says, why have you cut the podcast down to 1 episode a week? I really enjoy the show and it's a shame it's now only on 1 episode a week. Bandwidth, mate. I can't do what I was doing before Christmas. I was running out. Well, here we go. Rashford and Asensio. Thanks for your super chat, RB. What we do try to do with the podcast, though, is get it out first thing on a Monday morning at 7 o'clock. So if you ever want to listen to that Goldbridge Saves Football, it's sort of like the first thing on a Monday morning, sort of reviewing the weekend. Wilson Pereira says, why can't I super chat anymore, mods? Nobody can block you doing that, Wilson. So, 24 minutes to go. Aston Villa need to win, and they are losing. The worrying thing for Villa is that Ipswich at home, draw. Liverpool at home, draw. Chelsea at home, win. Crystal Palace away, draw. That would be, 5 points from 12? They need more than that. A2 Win says this will be a test for Rashford against the deeper line. Play some FIFA, you prat. It's been a while. It has been a while. I do need to get back to it. I need to get back to it anyway because the charity stream's in November and a large portion of that is the FIFA draft. Do you think Villa selling Duran was a mistake? They need goals and they don't get a striker to replace him, says Joshua. I think that... thing about Duran going, you get Asensio, Malen and Rashford. And I think the problem with Villa was that Watkins is always the preferred player. So I think it's difficult to... Well, Watkins is coming off here for Rashford. I like Mallon. I don't know why he doesn't pick Mallon more. I thought the first game I watched Villa against Spurs, they started Mallon. I thought he did quite well. Claim Your Own says, are you in the Sidemen charity match? Next to no chance, mate. It's a week on Saturday. I've heard nothing, so not even commentary, so nothing. There's nothing this time. But look, I remember speaking to Pieface about this when he was in it year 1 and then not in year 2. It's a massive event. It's their event, and it's a charity event, so, you know, it would have been nice to be involved at Wembley, having done Charlton, but no one's got any divine right to be involved, and I didn't expect it, as I said the other day after what happened last time. But no, I would have heard by now, I think. Well, I would have done. Most underrated player in history, in your opinion, says Fart Smeller. I mean, that's such a difficult question, isn't it? Most underrated player in history. I think Roy Keane's underrated as a footballer. I think he's Carrick as well. I think Roy Keane is underrated because I think a lot of people in the modern day don't respect his ability. They just think he was a bit of a, you know, thug in the midfield. Actually, he was a technically very good player and one of the best ball-retaining midfielders in the Premier League era. Just kept it simple. But before he started getting his injuries, he was actually really good box to box. He could score. He used to score a lot of goals. Breaking from the midfield, had a great engine as well. So I think he's a bit disrespected as a footballer. I also think, to be fair, I've said it before, I think Gary Neville's underrated as a right back. And I think a lot of that's to do with what people think of Gary Neville now. Glazers were trying to buy IPL franchise. I wonder where they get the money from. Most likely from Bleeding United Dry, says Mitesh. Oh yeah, personally, they've got loads of money. Imagine being the guy holding a balloon for Nkunku every week for him to score 3 goals a season. Embarrassing, says the Spurs way. Oh, Villa. Saar again. Well, it's sore for Villa. And it's Saar for Palace, because that will be the game. A bad result for Aston Villa, this. They want to be in Europe next season. I'd argue they need to be in Europe next season. And, I mean, Palace, again, just showing... They're a funny old side, Palace. When they're at it, they're very good. But I think sometimes with Palace... If they're missing 1 or 2 players, they don't have the squad for it, but Saar takes that very well. It's sort of like a cut-back cross. And he sort of takes it on the half volley. No, on the volley, actually. Lovely goal. Lovely. I tell you what, it's a good goal all round, that. It's a lovely cross. He picks out the guy he wants. That's a lovely finish. Emery disaster class, says Louis. I did say this at the weekend about Villa. As he almost got too many options now. You know, you've got Rodgers, you've got Bailey, you've got Ramsey, you've got Watkins. Then you've got Asensio, Mallon and Rashford. He's got 7 options, and it's almost like he'd be better off if he had 5 or 6. That's not going to be offside, is it? Too many VAR checks tonight. Mark, if you were stuck in a team mascot suit for 1 year, what team mascot would you pick, says Cian? I don't know. That's a weird question. Could be 4. Oh, he's missed it. Mitchell. Palace are running wild here. Glazer, thank you very much. Soup and a roll for the staff incoming at Villa Park, says Eddie. Still 1-1 between Brighton and Bournemouth, 15 minutes to go. And still 2-1 between Fulham and Wolves. 13 minutes to go. I mean, look, Wolves got to be a little bit careful. They have got a little bit of breathing space at the bottom of the table. Currently 5 points ahead of Ipswich and Leicester. But if they were to lose here, I don't know what Leicester have got. What are Leicester doing tomorrow? No, they're playing Thursday night, West Ham against Leicester. God, I'm not watching that. I'm not watching that. 3-0 to Chelsea at half-time, by the way. And Nkunku, Neto and Colwill. Oh, you got a Brighton goal. We've got a Brighton goal going on here. And I'm not messing around. We're going live to Brighton. Show me it. Here we go. Van Heck. I don't know. No, it wasn't. It was Welbeck, not Van Heck. Let's have a look at this. Yeah. Slips him in. In off the post. Big goal, Brighton. They want to get themselves in amongst it. Still in the FA Cup as well, Brighton. Could still be a good season for Brighton. No doubt about it. Next game, Fulham at home. And then Man City away. Cup game against Newcastle at the weekend. Could be a good season for Brighton. Kante or Verratti, says Ashish. I will do that for you now. Either or. Ricky will be chuffed, says Rick. I'm disappointed with Villa tonight. It's not good. It's not good for them. Look at that league table. 10th place, 42 points. Played way more than everybody else. I wouldn't say it's over for the top 5, but I wouldn't say it's looking good either. Matsson's coming on. Verratti's getting absolutely battered by Kante. Yeah, I'd say Kante easily on that one, like Greg Donald. Scouse Raw says actually Verratti is very overrated as well. He gets exposed as soon as he plays internationals or Champions League. I don't think he gets picked for Italy anymore, does he? I don't think he's. I think the last I checked, he's not that old either. 32. Goal for Birmingham. I didn't realise there was other games going on tonight. Yeah, they're playing against 10 men Leyton Orient. Are you worried about United getting relegated? Absolutely not. I won't sit here and say we don't deserve to get relegated, but I'm not worried about us getting relegated because we live in a time at the moment where if you're an established Premier League club, we basically don't have relegation anymore because the Championship clubs just can't compete. So 3 up, 3 down. Exactly, Greg. Which broadband is better, Sky or Virgin, says Binny. I think it depends where you live. I don't think I've ever had Sky broadband either. Palace on the attack again. Muster says Virgin Media is the GOAT. It was shit where I used to live. On and off all the bloody time. It depends where you live. It's all about the box and the area and... Yeah. That City Fibre is pretty good though. The last house I lived in, they got it. I mean, this is a boring chat, but I'll finish it anyway. They put City Fibre in where I lived about 6 months before we moved. And the good thing about that is there's loads of different companies that sort of rent the line. Really fast. Really fast. Vuls says, as someone who sells broadband, it's 100% location based. What was for dinner, Mark? I had like a katsu curry fish cake, which I'd never had before. It's quite nice. I do like a katsu curry. Here's Leon Bailey into the box, and that hasn't gone for a corner. He'll have to keep that in. Terrible first touch, puts himself under pressure, but loses it as well. Infuriating player, isn't he, Leon Bailey? Bad ball by Rashford. That'll be a foul by Bailey as well. Do you think United will spend big this summer, says Daniel? I think so much of it depends on how much money we've got, really, and that's going to depend on whether we're in Europe or not, isn't it? It's so hard to be optimistic about United at the moment, isn't it? I use my neighbour's Wi-Fi. Adnan. I tell you what, I did have a house about, God, I don't even know how many years ago it would be. It was when the Wii was out, and I used to have EA Grand Slam Tennis, and it's the best game I've ever played online. It was like, I don't know if anyone remembers the Nintendo Wii, but you used to hold your controllers, right? And they had this game, which was an EA game with all the proper players in it, like, you know, in that time it was Nadal and Federer and Andy Murray. But you played the game standing up with your controller, and it was brilliant. And then you could go online. Oh my God, I'd be on it for hours playing like Pedro from Spain. And I have ranking tournaments and everything like that. But my internet went down once, and the neighbour, their internet was there, and it was unsecured, so I was just using that. It's actually probably a criminal offence. They wouldn't have minded, but I didn't ask. That is without doubt, like, to be able to play. Imagine if you could play FIFA, but you're not sat on your arse. You're actually getting exercise. It's the best game I've ever played because I mean I quite like tennis, but it was just so playable, and you're actually moving around, getting knackered, playing. It was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And that was about 15 years ago, and they've never every other tennis game now is still sat on your arse with a controller. Like, this was, if they could do it 15 years ago, imagine what the technology could be like now. Watch along tomorrow. I'm on the United stand because it's that's my club and we're playing Ipswich. So I will be on the United stand. I will be keeping an eye on the other games, but I'm annoyed really. I wish Man United Ipswich was on tonight. Southgate in, but Glazers out, and good owner in or Glazers in and guaranteed treble contenders. Son, I don't do that sort of stupid stuff. I don't do hypotheticals. But I don't want Southgate. Although, if I took Southgate and got rid of the Glazers, that would mean we've got even shitter owners. So I don't want Southgate, so I'd pick your treble with the Glazers, thanks. Socky says you can play games like that in VR now. Yeah, I've got a VR headset, but they haven't got a good tennis game. In fact, I haven't been on my VR headset for ages. There's some good, like, lightsaber and stuff like that, or whatever it's called. But the actual games are shit. Like, you know, sports games are rubbish. Like, there should be a really good boxing one as well, and there isn't. Should be a really good tennis one, and there isn't. Fulham have just missed a sitter, says Bob. How good was Makaleli, Mark, says Ash. Yeah, he was good. Obviously, he played for Chelsea as well. Makaleli was very good, especially at Real Madrid. But he wasn't as good as Kante, and I think that's the thing. You know, normally the player that comes first is better than the one that comes next, but Kante actually is and was better than Makaleli. Daniel Svensson says it's insane what quality the Premier League has. Palace can dominate a Villa like this, and last season Palace was top level. If you saw that, they were. I mean, look. I thought the weekend's results were incredible. For Palace to go to Fulham and win when they'd just beaten Forest there, Wolves to go to Bournemouth and win, and then obviously West Ham to go to Arsenal and win. It just shows you the competitive nature of the Premier League. And, you know, Villa get a big win against Chelsea at the weekend. They really need it. But Selhurst Park's always going to be a difficult place to come. And here it is again. I'm actually... I'm actually very aware that Brighton-Bournemouth is ridiculously close, and it would be such a big win for Brighton if they can do it. Bournemouth looking at their second loss in a row, which is unlike them. Streets of Rage 4 on PS5, blast from the past, says Daniel Fonseca. Yeah, I still love that. Golden Axe on the Mega Drive was my favourite. You could be a dwarf, a woman, I can't remember what she was, or a barbarian. I think she was just a woman. She wasn't walking around with like a purse, but I can't remember. What would she be? It was definitely a dwarf, a barbarian, and I don't know what the woman was. Altered Beast. I didn't like Altered Beast because it came free with the Mega Drive, and that just depressed me. Road Rash was brilliant, but I loved Golden Axe. Loved it. She was a warrior princess. That was it. Yeah. Kante or Vieira? Well, we'll do that one next then, because he's battered Verratti. Starter pile. Either or. Kante or Vieira. Do you think United will ever be great again, says Ashish? I think it depresses me to even think about it, because if it stays like it is with the Glazers and Ineos, I think we're in for year. I think if you think the last 10 years has been bad, God knows what the next 10 are going to be. But if they fucked off and gave us new owners, I think we could get back being competitive and entertaining relatively quickly. 7 minutes added on between Wolves and Fulham. We're not quite into the 90th here. Relegate Saints now. Lads are losing to Chelsea, says Rub. Earthworm Jim was my favourite game on the Mega Drive. Why do I feel like I don't know that game? Yeah, I knew all the games. Yeah, I don't really remember that. I remember James Pond, which was basically a game based on James Bond with a fish. And I loved Quackshot, Donald Duck. That was a great... they just had loads of games. I mean, Sonic the Hedgehog was brilliant. I used to like Micro Machines. Somebody said Mario Kart there, but you used to be able to play... I think you used to be able to play 4-player on a Mega Drive. You couldn't do it online. And Micro Machines was brilliant. That was a brilliant game on the Mega Drive. Desert Strike. Yeah, JMO, that was good. It was all around based on the Gulf War, wasn't it? Well, I think Rashford's played more central, hasn't he? He's sort of replaced Watkins, but as you say, Crystal Palace are a very good defensive side, and against a low block, they struggled. Cannon Fodder was an Amiga game, Ponte. I did like it, though. Lemmings as well. I played that on that. Sensible Soccer. Civilization. They were probably my favourite games on that. Paperboy, yeah, I remember that. Moonwalker. I had that on the Mega Drive. Actually, it was quite good when you get past all the accusations and rumours. What do you think of Luton's back-to-back relegation? Says Crazy. Well, I think it's crazy. They were the best team to get relegated last year, and they get relegated again. Crystal Palace are in again. Oh, he's got it stuck under his feet, but he's done well. Oh, it's 4-1. It's a hammering. And it's Nketiah. And he's almost going, up yours, Goldbridge. I am worth 30 million. 4-1 Palace. This is the... Welcome to the Premier League. It's just so unpredictably competitive. That's what I would say. And you've got to take your hat off to how do you spell competitive? Competitive. I never would have spelled it like that. Yeah, it's just so unpredictably competitive. And it's not even like Villa were playing bad. Well, I mean, where are Palace in the league now? You've got to ask yourself that question. With 2 wins, 36 points. I mean, they're not going to get into Europe, but 36 points for Palace. They're 6 points ahead of United now. Back ahead of Tottenham. I mean, they're only a point behind Brentford, who've had a bloody good season, haven't they? Just shows you this league, man. They've won 4 of their last 6, Crystal Palace. That's why they're climbing up the table. No doubt about that. 6 minutes added on here. Fulham and Wolves are still playing. 2-1 there. Brighton and Bournemouth. We got 5 minutes added on there. Of course, looking at the Premier League table, you've got Villa nowhere now, way out of it. But Brighton, 43 points. They're right level with Bournemouth. Bournemouth will feel they've dropped the ball a bit. No points from their last 2. That'll be disappointing for them. And their next game is away to Tottenham. So Bournemouth's starting to fall off a little bit now. A couple of weeks ago, they looked like they could beat anybody. They could take on the world. And now look at them. Spellbridge says, Rub, did you like Horace Goes Skiing on Spectrum? Says 48k. I don't remember that game. I remember having this game on the BBC computer, which was like the schools used to have them. And it was called Frack or something like that. And there was another game called The Secret Garden that used to let you play at school because it was all about puzzles. That Monoxide Poison says, do you think United fans have to take part responsibility to what has happened to their club because they didn't do anything to stop the Glazers? I think we all do, yeah. Yeah. I think people spent too much time arguing about who was right, and actually everybody should have just come together and gone, I know I don't like you or I don't like what you think, but let's just all do this to get rid of the Glazers. That's all we're doing, you know? But we didn't. I think that's absolutely spot on. I don't think there's a United fan out there that can honestly say that that's not the reason the Glazers aren't here. Nobody was willing to come together to get rid of them, and that's a shame. I've watched Slow Horses, Turk. One of my mates was on about it last night, actually, saying you should watch Slow Horses. I said, I've already watched it, idiot. I said, have you watched Black Dubs? He said, yes. I said, have you watched Yellowstone? He said, no. I said, well, watch that then. That's good. Fulham have already won, says Sound of Silence. Thank you very much for not keeping quiet about that. It is over. Wolves 1, Fulham 2. That puts Fulham in the race a little bit as well, doesn't it? They've played a game less than Villa. Villa probably gone now. They've still got the Champions League, but they're not going to win that. Imagine if they did win that. Very good result for Palace, though. They've been fantastic today. You don't beat a team 4-1 and not be fantastic. Kante's beating Vieira. Nah, not for me. Not for me. Vieira's better than Kante. But there's a lot of people who would have been up their mum's chuff at that time, so I do get it. It's hard for a player like Keane and Vieira to go up against a Rodri or a Kante because a lot of people won't have seen them play, and therefore it's like me, I would have to go Keane over Robson because I didn't watch Robson play. So I respect the honesty. There's nothing wrong with voting for Kante if you didn't see Vieira. How can you? That's just being honest. And to see Vieira in his prime, you're talking 2000, that's 25 years ago. So you've got to be at least 35. If you're under 30, you know. That's the final whistle there. And that's the final whistle at Brighton as well. Brighton have beaten Bournemouth 2-1. Crystal Palace have beaten Aston Villa 4-1. Wolves have beaten Fulham 2-1. And Chelsea, as we know, will beat Southampton by something. That's never been in doubt. It's just about how many they'll get. Thank you, everybody, for watching tonight. Really enjoyed it. We will be back tomorrow with a watch-along, but it will be on the United stand. A bit annoying, that is. Yeah. Veruca says, sorry, Mark, not all of us stay in the 2000s. Kante is just a more complete player, had everything and ran everywhere and dominated the midfield. I disagree. Well done for having an opinion. I think Vieira had a better passing range. I think he was a better dribbler. I think they would have complemented each other really, really well. But I think Vieira was a much better all-rounder. That's my opinion, certainly. But you're welcome to have yours. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Take care. I will see you tomorrow, no doubt about that. And yeah, good results again in the Premier League. It's crazy at the moment, but it's good. Take care. Speak to you in a bit.